After 5 years of overcomplicating planning systems, here's how I finally built a monthly planning system that you can learn in 11 minutes. Ever spent hours building the perfect planning system only to abandon it a week later? That was me for years, and after 5 years of tweaking my Notion setup, I finally built a system that's clean, simple, and sustainable. Hello, if you're new to my channel, I go by the name of Moto. I share my journey of freelancing and my life in my 20s. Today, I'll walk you through how I plan my entire month in Notion and break it down in 10 simple steps that you can follow. Step 1 is to brain dump everything. So the first thing that I do is I brain dump everything onto a Notion page that I have titled brainstorming task list. And then this page, I basically just let everything out of my mind. This includes goals, events, reminders, things from my business, anything that I have to do for the upcoming month. I will just throw it on there and I won't overthink this part. This is important. Don't overthink it. Don't even think about how you're writing it. It's important just to get it all out there without starting to overwhelm yourself. Trust me, just get it all out there. The key here is to start messy. Step number 2 is organize with AI. Next, I'll use ChatGPT to help me organize this chaos into categories and also to simplify everything that I dumped out on that brainstorming task list. I'll copy and paste it onto ChatGPT and I'll tell it to separate these tasks into different categories. And for me, I really like to be simple with these categories. I like to keep them broad. So I'll have business, content, freelance, personal. I don't like to get into specifics. I won't say YouTube, Instagram. I just like to keep it all under one umbrella term. The key thing here is to keep your categories broad and minimal. And the next step, this is gonna help prevent your schedule from getting overcluttered. Step number 3. Time block your week. For step number 3, it's important to note that I am using the Notion calendar app, not the Notion app. Even though we will be using the Notion app though to link them to each other, but for step number 3, we are using the Notion calendar app. I'm sure many of you know what time blocking is or have heard of it, but I've seen many people do it in a way that just looks too stressful. So I'm gonna show you how I do it and how I try to be reflective on what my real habits are. This is when I think to myself, when do I like to eat? When am I most productive? And when do I like to rest? Things like that. In this step, it's important to be realistic and to really reflect on your own habits. Knowing these habits is important because in my schedule, I will leave gaps open, such as for me, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. is usually when I like to eat food. So I'll leave 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. empty and I'll do anything like rest, eat food, go outside, but I won't specify the task because I feel like that's more stressful trying to always follow a specific task. Then I time block by category, and these are the categories that we asked AI to separate our tasks into. For example, for me, today is Wednesday and I have from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. as content creation time. So within that time period, I'll do anything related to content creation, such as YouTube, scripting, storyboarding, just looking through Instagram for references, YouTube for references, doing whatever task falls under the category of content creation. To me, I find this more achievable and less stressful than if I write every tiny little thing I want to do in the morning or in the day without feeling like I'm on a time constraint at all times. Step number 4, add flexibility. For step number 4, even though it might seem repetitive, notice how I leave gaps in my Notion calendar, and you want to be flexible with yourself because at any given point, anything can happen. We all live a human life. Things go unplanned for, so just having an hour gap in between different parts of your day can really be helpful, and they don't need to be long gaps. I mean, I just keep about 2 of them in my schedule per day, so it was just gonna add up to a total of 2 hours. Step number 5, schedule your month. Step number 5, we're basically gonna be building out our entire month, and we've already done that by building out this entire week. What I like to do is that I'll repeat that schedule that I built out for that week. I'll just have Notion calendar repeat it for the next 4 weeks, only for that month. I won't repeat it for like the next 2 months, next 3 months, because again, you want to be flexible and you also don't want to get bored of the same schedule. Step number 6, assign tasks to dates. Step number 6, now we're gonna hop onto the actual Notion app. And this is where I created a database that connects my Notion calendar to my Notion task list and another Notion calendar. And I will show you guys what other Notion calendar I'm talking about right now. In this Notion calendar, unlike the Notion calendar that we previously were looking at, this one, I use it to literally put in tasks on specific dates. So this is where all the magic happens. Instead of keeping a long, overwhelming list of different things that I need to do, instead, I will actually go on this Notion calendar and I will type them into specific dates. So for me, every Thursday, I know I'm dedicating to YouTube. I will go in and put those in. Then I will even put in like the episode titles, and I have different tags that I have created that's gonna make it easier for the next step. For me, like let's say freelance projects, I know I have one due in the 3rd week of September. So in that 3rd week, I'll just type in that project name and I'll add the details. And the amazing thing about this is that you can drag and drop them. So when you know like the specific due dates, you can always move them around, and it's very flexible. And what I love about these calendars is that this Notion app calendar and the calendar on the Notion app, they sync to each other. So when I put task in the Notion app, it will automatically go to the Notion calendar. So either way, whichever one I'm viewing, I will still be able to see the tasks that are due in that day. Step 7, use filters to stay focused. Step 7, you guys, this to me is a life changer, because if you're like me, I get visually overwhelmed, or even when I'm just like looking at a long list or I'm picturing my list in my head, I get overwhelmed just thinking about it. I use filters to stay focused. And what I mean by filters is that on the Notion app, you can actually filter out what you want to see on your task list and on your Notion calendar. For example, you'll see here on the Notion calendar, I can put in which categories of the tags that I have created of what I want to filter out so I can see. So I can click on YouTube, Instagram, and just view stuff that are related to those tags on my calendar, so I'm not overwhelming myself by seeing everything. If I'm seeing all my freelance projects, all my content creation projects, my business projects all in one place, sometimes that is overwhelming, and sometimes it's useful because you want to get a gauge of what you have to do in that week. But then when you already know what you're going to do during your time blocks, that's why you time block in the other calendar, because you know from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. you're supposed to be doing content creation. Then on this calendar, you can filter out content, and then you will only see your tasks due in that day, and then that week, and then that month related to content, so you're not stressing yourself out visually. Step 8, daily task view. What I love about this step is just that my future self has basically already planned out the day for me. It's the task list app at the top. You can select due date, and then you can click this week, this day, this month. I only select this day, so it only shows you the tasks that are related to your calendar on that day in a list. So then you have them all in a list, and day by day it's going to be filtering out, so you're not going to be seeing the things from yesterday or the things for tomorrow. You're only seeing the things for that day. So it's very helpful, very clean, very simple, very minimal. Every morning I wake up and there's a new refresh task list for that day that I have already planned out. And if I need to add anything to it, I can easily, but for the most part, everything's already on there. So every day I'm not spending time trying to create a new list. It's already been done. Step 9, adapt when life happens. This step is for when life gets in the way, which it always does. And personally for me, this past week has been a lot, and a lot of stuff has been happening in my personal life. And as you guys can see, I also have a mess in the background because I am currently in the process of moving. So there's a lot going on. But what I love about using the calendar on the Notion is that you can drag and drop all your tasks into different dates if needed. And it just adds so much flexibility without having to feel like you need to refresh every single time something changes or goes wrong. You can always just adapt. And that's why I like to keep these tags priorities, where you can select the high priorities, the medium priorities, and low priorities. And that way you can also kind of gauge what doesn't need to be done exactly on that day, and you can move it to a later date. And anything that did have high priority, you can move it closer to get it done first. So that's the amazing thing about Notion, is the drag and drop features and being able to tag every single task so it's filtered out also. 10, use tasks as a hub. I treat tasks as a mini hub. So as you guys can see, if you actually open one of the tasks, it'll open up a page, and then you can insert any notes, links, PDFs, anything, references that you need for the future. So let's say I have a YouTube video 3 weeks from now, and I have already planned it out, and I have a random idea on a random day. I can open up the calendar on my phone, open up the task and it will have the page. I can just write a reminder or any notes that I want to remember. So 3 weeks from now, when it comes up, it's already there. And that's what I like about it, because you can add links to any Instagram videos you liked, any YouTube videos you like, that you can always reference back without forgetting. By the way, if you want to use this exact Notion setup, I've actually linked a free template for you guys in the description below so you can duplicate it and get started. And yes, this is completely free. I know the struggle of trying to find a system that actually works, especially if you're a creative, freelancer, business owner, even a student. This is the same setup that I was using when I was a student at university. I just graduated this past year, and this is the system that worked well for me, and it still continues to work well with everything. So if you want to try this out, again, it's in the link below. And all I ask in return is if you guys can come hang out with me on Instagram, which is going to be right here and also linked in the description and in my bio. I would love to grow my online community and really get to know you guys and get some feedback on the videos, and also if any of this is really helpful for you guys, and creating more templates for you guys to use, because I am someone who uses a lot of self-made templates on Notion. So I absolutely do not mind just sharing those with like-minded creatives. So yeah, just go check it out, please. And that's my system for planning out my month in Notion. It keeps everything simple, flexible, and way less overwhelming. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. I post every Thursdays and Sundays about freelancing, lifestyle, and growing a creative business in my 20s. I'd love to have you along for the journey. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.